All right, everybody, welcome back to the stove. Finally, I know it's been a while. We have this problem where we upload videos consistently and then stop. So we will get better. Probably not this summer, but we'll get better at some point. But anyway, we have a lot to talk about today because we haven't been here for a month and a lot's happened in the last month. So we got a lot to talk about. So we'll talk about what happened the other night to start with, which was the Celtics and the Heat. Um, what a series that was. It was a bunch of blowouts for the first 5 games. The last 2 games were really good games, and the Celtics won, and that's what happened. So you go. What do you think?
Yeah, my thoughts are basically everybody but Jimmy Butler um, played like crap for the Heat.
Yeah,
Tyler Hero was out for a lot of games. They sorely missed him.
yeah,
Yeah, Jimmy Butler plays. He's amazing in the playoffs. I mean, if he could play like that in the regular season, he would be an MVP candidate every year. Um, but I mean, I don't really have much to say. I mean,
you think Jimmy should have taken the three or drove it?
no, we talked about this the other day, but no, I don't think he should have. He had Al Horford guarding him, and there was still like 12 seconds left on the clock. He should have taken the.
I
He
think he
should
should
have.
have taken the three. I've changed my mind.
I think he should have drove the lane and probably gotten a foul, which he
Yeah,
probably would have. And knowing Jimmy Butler, he probably would have finished, and it probably would have been a 3-point play anyway.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say that it was a bad shot. I'm just going to say that it was the wrong shot. That's all I want to say about it.
Well, to me, Jimmy was the one who got him there in the first place because they would have lost game 6 without him.
He carried the Heat that
The
series.
Celtics probably would have won by 25 or 30 in game 7 if he didn't play the way he did in the second quarter that kept him in the game. And Jimmy is not known for making clutch shots. He's never really been known for that. He's really not, that's really just not what he's good at. But he is a really clutch free throw shooter. So I feel like if he would have got to the rim, he would have got fouled. But the Heat, they can't be upset with him because he's the one who got you there. So there's no way you can be upset with him over the shot. His teammates didn't seem to be upset with it over it. The
They
only
shouldn't be.
no, the only problem I have is in the last 3:35 when the Heat went on the 11-0 run to cut it down to 2 is Jimmy. It was Kyle Lowry and Max Struess who led the the 11-0 run in the last
Yes.
3:35, and Marcus Smart. Can't forget about him. The last 3:35 where Max Struess made just a stupid shot with like 50 seconds left.
That was ridiculous. I don't know
Uh,
how to this day he made that.
Yeah,
If he shot that shot 100 more times, he wouldn't make it another
probably
time.
not. But it was Max Struess and Kyle Lowry doing it. Max Struess was open, or was if Butler would have drove, Jason Tatum has a tendency to collapse the lane. So Max Struess could have been maybe not wide open, but it would have put Jason Tatum in a rotation situation where he would have had to close out to the corner, and Struess would have had a pretty open look for three. I'm not saying he would have made it, but that would have been a better. Butler is not a 3-point shooter.
No.
He shot like 27% from three over the course of the season.
Really?
Yeah, he shot 19% in the series. He's not outside of basically game 6. He did not shoot the three well at all.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was horrible from three. But I don't have a problem with the shot because Butler was fatigued and he was ready for the game to be over and he wanted to end it. It was either he was going to make it and Miami would have won.
Yeah.
And it would have been a great story if he would have made it.
Mhm.
But even if he makes it, there's still 16 seconds left. Boston can run a regular play and,
Exactly.
get a great look with 16 seconds left.
That's plenty of time.
And there's a chance that Miami would have got the ball back too. So I mean, that's not a walk-off shot. If he makes it, there's a chance that Boston makes it, and there's a chance Miami could make another shot. So
and that's exactly why I say that was the wrong shot, because if he would have drove the lane, gotten a foul on Horford, finished the shot, made a 3-point play, it would have been the same thing. You know? And plus they would have got another foul on Al. But I mean,
Well,
he wouldn't have fouled out anyway. But that's
You know.
that's a moot point.
but the thing that angers me about that game is that all the Heat fans are like, "Oh, the officiating was on Boston's side." That is baloney. It was on Boston's side. The Strus play, first of all, that was very close. I think he stepped out, but that was just me.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a replay and
He stepped out.
I don't know if
He
he
stepped
did.
out.
I don't think
He stepped
did.
out.
No, he didn't.
Jimmy
The hill
Butler
didn't come down.
Jimmy Butler stiff arming Al Horford in midair. What are we in football? We
I
can
saw
just
that.
stiff arm him in midair.
That was a bad call.
How about in Game 6 when Butler literally catches the ball out of bounds and they call it out on Boston? When he was running with the ball and just ran out of bounds and they said it was out on Boston, that made no sense.
That was
that-
bad.
It was not good. I would say the NBA probably would have rather had Boston and Golden State in the finals because I think that's going to be a better series than what Miami would have been.
Yeah.
Miami probably would have gotten beaten in 4 or 5 just because they're just
Probably.
so depleted, and
Yes.
I just don't think they would have won. Boston was healthier, which is what the series came down to. If Miami would have been fully healthy the entire series, they would have won. I don't know if they would have because Boston wasn't fully healthy the entire series either. Jason Tatum was banged up the last 3 or 4 games of the series. He did not play good in the last 3 games, I didn't think.
He did make a few clutch shots in Game 7, though.
Yeah, the only problem I have is that he didn't even take a shot in the last 4:30. I understand they were doubling him, but Marcus Smart takes threes, and he's like, "Oh, well, I have an open 3." Miami wants you to be open. That's why they double Tatum off of your man. They want Marcus Smart to take the threes. That's who they want shooting the ball. Marcus Dumb, I call him sometimes, just decided to jack up 5 shots. Marcus Smart is not the Celtics closer. He looked like he not won defensive player, he won offensive player of the year. He's shooting 5 shots in the last. I went 0 for 5 in the last 3:30. Marcus Smart single-handedly gave the Heat a chance to get back in the game, where they're shooting the last 7 possessions was 5 Marcus Smart threes, an offensive foul on Jaylen Brown, and an offensive foul on Grant Williams. That's Boston's last 7 possessions.
And on the possession where Jimmy Butler shot that 3 at the end of the game, Marcus Smart had the ball and he drove the lane and missed a layup.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy Butler was able to get the rebound and get that open shot.
And get a run out. That was the problem is, to me, the Celtics, if the Celtics rebound the ball and they don't turn it over, they're so much better than Miami on talent-wise that they like when they didn't turn the ball over, they won by 20 and 30 points.
Yeah.
When they did turn the ball over, Miami won the games because Miami can get out and run, and that's what hurt Boston the other night because he had 13 turnovers again.
Yeah.
And that just kept hurting them over the series. Golden State's going to make you pay if you turn it over. That's just not going to cut it against Golden State. And Boston's got to get better in late game situations. The last 2 games, neither one of them, I thought they played good in the late game. Game 6, they did not handle the late game situation good at all. Jaylen Brown misses 2 free throws. They keep letting Jimmy Butler get the ball instead of trying to get it out of his hands. They just let him catch the ball and go one-on-one. I mean, that Game 6 is probably one of the top 10 playoff performances probably in the last 25 years that I've seen. I mean, that was unbelievable. I mean, that was 47, 8, and 8 or something like that. That's insane. I mean, that's just on like 65 or 70% shooting from the field. I mean, that's like LeBron in Game 6 against Boston in 2012 when he went for 45, 15, and 5.
You remember that one well, don't you?
Yeah, dude. I mean, 47 and 8?
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Incredible.
I mean, and you think about it, is Miami was expected to roll over in Game 6 and lose by about 30 points. And that did not happen.
Nope.
And I'm surprised Boston won Game 7. I thought that Boston was going to lose. I thought it'd be close, but I thought Boston would lose, especially down the stretch of that game. I was like, Miami's going to make a push, and Boston's going to have to make shots, so they're going to lose. And they made just enough to do it. Marcus Smart made 2 clutch free throws at the end of the game. I'll give him that one.
Hold on. Unlike my colleague here, I was actually confident in the Celtics. I was telling him that, don't worry, the Celtics will be fine. Talent will prevail. And he's like, I don't know, man.
No,
I don't know.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's a Game 7. You're going against a veteran team. because the Heat are a veteran team. By the
Well,
way,
then-
their veterans honestly didn't even show up in Game 7.
No.
PJ Tucker was horrible, and Kyle Lowry was bad basically until the last 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, but to me, the shot that saved Miami's series was in Game 6 when Derek White started to go off in the fourth quarter for the Celtics, and he scored a bunch of points. He had a 3, he had 2 threes, then he had an and one, and then he had another 3 in the corner that put Boston up 3. And I was like, this is not looking good for Miami. And then Kyle Lowry comes down on the other end and answers with his own 3. If he misses that shot, Boston's going to win that game because Boston has all the momentum in that game. I know it's only 97-94 and there's still 5 minutes left. But if he misses that 3, Boston gets a run out because it's a long rebound and probably scores, and it goes to 99-94. And I don't know if Miami ends up winning that game if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So that shot saved Miami's series because it tied it back up at 97, and then it was just Miami was able to win in the clutch because Jaylen Brown had 2 points in the second half.
And that was Kyle Lowry's only good moment of the series because he played horrible the whole series.
Well, he was able to flop a lot. But
yeah, him and Marcus.
I've never seen 2 players. That both of them were going for Academy Awards in this series.
It was incredible.
It was. But Jason Tatum is so young, and he has all the skills to be a top 5 player in the league, but he's just so young that the mistakes that he makes at times are just not good, but he will get there. So
he will.
But that leads us into the next.
How old is he? 23?
24. Celtics and Warriors, that's the finals. Game 1 is Thursday.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about the Dallas series because that was not even a series, that was a smackdown.
But
yeah, Warriors and Celtics, the last time they faced each other in the NBA Finals was when Wilt Chamberlain was in the league, and he still is because Otto Porter looks exactly like Wilt Chamberlain. Let's just get that out of the way. But
he didn't rebound quite as well. But
no, but Warriors obviously, I think the Warriors have a better offense, but the Celtics do have a better defense.
A lot better defense.
I think the Warriors have the best player on the court as of right now in Stephen Curry. One day it will be Jason Tatum, but as of right now, I think I think Stephen Curry is the best player on the floor. I think the Warriors will be able to score a lot better than the Heat. I think they'll be able to shoot the 3 a lot better than the Heat, which is a given. To me, Klay Thompson has to play lights out for them to win this series, which I think he will. And I say the Warriors win in 7. How about you?
So I'm going Celtics in 7. I've rode with them since the first round. Whenever he picked the Nets in the first round, and I picked the Celtics. And
listen, we don't have to talk about that anymore.
And the Celtics, to me, Steph Curry. Boston is the only team in the last 8 years to have a winning record against Golden State. They have a winning record at Golden State over the last 8 years. They're the only team in the NBA to do that. And they are going to get physical with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And Steph Curry does not like to get physical with people. They're going to push him around. The question to me is how much are the refs going to let him play? Because if they let Boston bully Golden State around, Golden State could be in a lot of trouble if they just let Boston push them around on the 3-point line, because Golden State is going to struggle to shoot 3, that they're just going to let Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum just push them around at the 3-point line. But this will be an interesting series because to me, the X factor for Golden State is going to be Andrew Wiggins. Can Andrew Wiggins continue to score 17 or 18 a game, or is he going to go back to scoring
and can he
12?
Can he guard Jason Tatum decently?
Effectively, yeah. I mean, they were able to attack Luka down the floor because Luka's not a good defender. Boston doesn't have a bad defender on the floor.
Yeah, they all got votes for Defensive Player of the Year, which is insane.
Yeah. Besides basically Peyton Pritchard, who's really not even an awful defender. He's just kind of small.
Yeah.
There's nobody that Golden State can just continuously attack on the offensive end because everybody's a good defender for Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And Golden State doesn't really have someone in the paint who has a paint presence. I don't think Kevon Looney is going to score 20 points a game. I think Kevon Looney's a really good underrated player, but he's not going to score 20 a game.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, are the lights going to be too bright for Jordan Poole? We're going to find that out. You know, the great thing about this series is, to me, this series is so simple to understand. Is who's going to play better, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, or Klay Thompson and Steph Curry? That's who's going to win the series.
Exactly.
Whatever duo plays better. That's because those are the four best players in the series.
And also,
those are the four best. So.
And also, you got to think about, again, as you said, Jordan Poole. If he shows up and he plays like he did in that first series against the Nuggets, that's trouble.
Yeah.
That's trouble.
Yeah. To me, it still comes down to the two duos and just which duo plays better. Because if Steph Curry and Jordan Poole are the duo, and that's pretty deadly too. You know, Klay did not shoot the ball well in the series against Denver. He didn't shoot the ball good in the series against Memphis until Game 6, and he didn't shoot the ball well against Dallas until Game 5. So Klay. It's not Game 6 Klay. Steven or Skip Bayless said it's close out Klay. But
all I have to say is the Celtics better not be in an elimination spot in Game 6 if it goes to Game 6. They better not be there, because
I don't care. But
close out Klay will get you.
Yeah. But you know, Steph. Okay. Steph, we're going to see if Steph is going to win a finals MVP now. And we're going to see how good Steph is. And if this series, because I think this series is going to go 7 games. We both think that. This series has 7 games written all over it.
Yes.
If this series goes 7 games, we're going to find out if we're going to get the 1 for 6 Steph and the 1 for 5 from 3 Steph that we got in 2016. If we're going to get the 2019 Game 7 Steph, even though he scored 47 in Game 6, he was not good in the last 5 minutes of that game. We're going to find out which Steph Curry we're going to get, because if it's the Steph Curry who shrinks under pressure in Game 7, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because Boston is growing and Boston is mature. This is not a young team anymore. They're an inexperienced team, but they're not a young team anymore. So Boston,
I wouldn't say they're completely inexperienced. They've been to the conference finals before.
4 times, finally won one. But LeBron finally got out, and then we get there. But
you still got Giannis to deal with.
It's okay. But we beat him once, so it's going to be interesting to me to see. But I think Boston's going to win in 7 games, because I don't trust Steph Curry in Game 7. I just don't. And Steph Curry's legacy is already pretty much cemented in history, and I don't think another title really and an MVP is really going to make people – he's never going to be in my top 10, but without a finals MVP, he's not going to be in my top 10.
Would he be if he did get a finals MVP?
No.
Really?
No. Because
a lot of people are saying that he would be in their top 10 if he got a finals MVP.
Would you put him above like Tim Duncan, who's 5-1 in the finals?
Well,
I would.
That's a little tough, because they're completely different players.
Yeah, but Tim Duncan's 5-1. He's not better than Shaq. He's not better than Jordan. He's not better than LeBron.
Okay.
He's not better than Wilt. He's not better than Bill Russell. He's not better than Kobe.
Okay.
He's not better than Magic. And he's not better than Larry. Okay. That's 10.
Okay.
So you'd have to figure out one that he could take out, which Duncan's probably the easiest for him to take out. But
maybe Magic.
But then your second to Magic.
Maybe.
No. But Magic's in my top 4. But Kareem, that's the other one. No. So that's 12 that he's got to be better than
Kareem. I'll say that.
And then the second 10, you got Malone and Dirk. I got Dirk in my second 10. I got Bill Walton. Let me tell you something. Bill Walton took over a finals back in the 70s, and he got hurt. So, Bill Walton's in my second 10. But anyway, you got to figure out someone Steph can take out. So Steph's got a lot of work to do if he's going to do that. So we'll see. I mean, there's not been one time in Steph Curry, all of those top 10 players were the best player in the league at one point or another in their career.
Yeah.
All of them.
And Steph Curry has been the best player in the league. When he won the unanimous MVP?
But LeBron was still a better player. In 2016?
That year, that was
when
Steph
he scored
Curry.
41 in Game 5 and 41 in Game 6. And
that year,
triple-double
Stephen
in
Curry
Game
was
7.
I think Stephen Curry was considered the best player in the league.
Yeah, but LeBron's kind of been considered basically up until 20, but we can argue that another day. But anyway, Steph's got a lot, to me, still got a lot of work to do before he can get in the top 10. It's hard to get in the top 10.
Yes,
I mean,
it is.
the league's been around for 75 years. So, I mean, you know, it's tough to do it. So but,
if you get in the top 30, you're a pretty damn good player.
Yeah, we got to think about it. Golden State in 2015, they would have lost to Cleveland if Kyrie and Kevin Love didn't get hurt because they won in 6 games. They were down 2-1. They probably would have lost that series. They won in 2016. They had to get Kevin Durant in 2017 to win. They won in 2018 because they had Kevin Durant. They lost in 2019 because they didn't have Kevin Durant. I mean, the team that they have, everybody raves about the Splash Brothers with Clay and Steph. They've never beaten a completely healthy team in the finals before. That has not happened. Those two have not done that because the only time they won a finals together with just them two without Durant was 2015.
Yeah.
And Cleveland didn't have Kevin Love or Kyrie Irving. Kyrie was a 25 point per game scorer, and Kevin Love was a 16 point per game scorer and probably their best rebounder, him and Tristan Thompson. So, I mean, and Mozgov. But
Tristan Thompson is definitely a good rebounder considering that he can get Khloe Kardashian back all the time.
Oh, yeah. But anyway.
Best rebounder in the league.
Let's talk about the NFL draft.
Oh, God.
So you can go first. We can make this David Unleashed, probably.
Anyway, let's start off with the first pick of the draft. If you would, please bring it up, sir. Production value. But the first pick in the draft, which was a surprise because I thought it was going to be Aiden Hutchinson, it ends up being Travon Walker out of Georgia, and who is a physical specimen, but a little less a little bit unproven and a lot more question marks than Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
And with the second pick of the draft, the Detroit Lions take Aiden Hutchinson, which I think is an insanely good pick. He stays in Michigan. I think Detroit's going to have a premier edge rusher for the next 10, 15 years. And the first really shock of the draft with the third pick in the draft is Derek Stingley Jr.
You don't see defensive backs go in the top 3 very often.
And if it was going to be a defensive back right there, I figured it would have been Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati.
Well, the top 5, I don't think there's been 2 defensive backs taken in the top 5.
No.
I don't think
so.
In the modern NFL era.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think.
And the fourth pick of the draft, the New York Jets take the Sauce Gardner, which great pick. I love Sauce Gardner. I think he's going to be a lockdown corner. I think he's going to be the next Darrelle Revis. Shocker. I think he's going to be the next Darrelle Revis. With the next pick in the draft, you don't agree?
No, I agree.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
And the next pick of the draft, 5th overall, Kayvon Thibodeau for the New York Giants. And
I'm high on him.
Yeah, I was about 6 months ago, I was high on him, but I think everybody was. But I'm not as high as on him anymore. I'm not so sure about him. I mean, I guess we'll see. But you take the next 5.
All right. So number 6, Ekwonu goes to the Panthers.
Great pick.
Yeah, probably the best. Leaves the first taken offensive line.
Highest upside in the draft.
Yeah.
For offensive line.
Evan Neal, who's probably the best offensive lineman in college last year, was taken at 7. He goes to the Giants.
The most pro-ready.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to make an impact like day 1.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I mean.
Him and Andrew Thomas on that offensive line for the Giants.
It's going to help it a lot. Drake London with the Falcons at 8. I wasn't crazy about the Falcons pick, but that was just me.
I thought that this is where I thought Malik Willis would go.
Yeah.
I thought he would either go here or Seattle for the next pick.
Yeah.
But he ends up falling to the third round somehow, where the Titans pick him up, which is insane value.
Yeah. But number 9, the Seahawks took Charles Cross, which I actually like that pick. I'm not too down on that pick.
You weren't happy about it on draft.
Well, I wanted Malik Willis, but Charles Cross he's a polished offensive lineman. I think he'll make an impact on day one. So I mean, I'm not upset with that. Garrett Wilson at 10. I'm high on Garrett Wilson because Garrett Wilson is a highlight reel. So I mean,
G-Dub, he's insane.
Yeah, I mean, he is a highlight reel. I mean, but he's
and let me take over.
His vertical is crazy.
And let me take over here. Number 11 overall, the Saints trade. Did they trade up? I don't remember. But anyway, with number 11 overall, the New Orleans Saints select Chris Olave. And for them, I mean, I guess it's a good pick. I mean, with all the quarterbacks still on the board, I definitely would have gone QB there because the Saints definitely need a QB because Jameis Winston is not the long-term solution.
To me, they really don't need a ton of pieces. I mean, they're not like
they need cap space.
But yeah, they do need cap space.
And number 12 overall,
Jameson Williams.
A team trades up with the Minnesota Vikings. The Detroit Lions.
No comment.
The Detroit Lions trade up from number 32 overall with the Minnesota Vikings and pick Jameson Williams, probably, if he was healthy, the best receiver in the draft.
Probably.
And, the Minnesota Vikings fall to number 32.
No, we'll get to that in a minute.
We'll get to that in a minute. I'll go to number 15, and then you can go to 20. At this point, I was thinking the Vikings were definitely going to take Kyle Hamilton, who is probably, you could argue, is the best player overall in the draft. You could probably say just pure player, he was the best in the draft. But he ends up falling to number 14. And at number 13, the Eagles take Jordan Davis, the monster in the middle, the physical freak, 350-pound guy from Georgia.
Who runs a 4.6.
Insane. Great pick for the Eagles. And number 14, the Ravens somehow just do it again. And they get
Kyle Ravens Hamilton. Had a great draft.
They did. And they get Kyle Hamilton, the best player in the draft, who is going to be an immediate impact player. And at number 15 overall, I didn't really agree with this one for the Texans. The Texans didn't really have a great draft, in my opinion, but they select Kenyon Green, an interior offensive lineman out of Texas A&M. I thought it's a good pick. I think he'll be a good pick, but I don't know. I just didn't agree with that one. And
did we take the okay? Yeah. So 16, the Commanders took
the Commies. Say it right.
Took John Dotson out of Penn State. He's really fast and
I think
really speedy.
I think this is an underrated pick because I love Jahan.
Isn't he a little small?
A little bit, maybe, but I don't think that will really matter.
He reminds me of Hamler. What was that guy?
KJ Hamler?
Yeah. For some reason he reminds me of that. But anyway.
I think he'll be a great player.
The Chargers took Zion Johnson, the next Zion.
Okay. Well, hopefully he can actually get on the field.
Out of Boston College.
Great pick.
Yeah, I like that pick.
Physical specimen.
Treylon Burks is who the Titans took, which I thought was interesting because they traded A.J. Brown and then they draft a wide receiver.
Who is basically a mirror image of A.J. Brown.
Yeah, at 18 out of Arkansas.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Number
19, the Saints took Trevor Penning.
The physical specimen offensive lineman out of Northern Iowa. I think he'll be a good pick.
Yeah, he's got work, though, that probably needs to be done. Number 20, this was kind of a surprise.
Finally, the first QB is taken.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett is taken at 20. I am mixed on Kenny Pickett because I think Kenny Pickett has great size and great, like, he's tall, but his hands are tiny. And I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know yet. That's a project, but we'll have to see.
All right, number 21, the Chiefs pick Trent McDuffie, who, when the Vikings first traded down, I was thinking, oh, well, we'll just get Trent McDuffie then, but I didn't realize we were falling all the way to 32. But anyway, the Chiefs get Trent McDuffie at number 21 overall, which I think is a great pick.
From the Packers.
Let me take that one. But yeah, at number 21 overall, the Chiefs get Trent McDuffie. Great pick, great value. The Chiefs
underrated pick.
Yes, the Chiefs just continue to be good. And at number 22, this really put a smile on my face because everybody in like the United States was thinking the Packers would pick a wide receiver here because they lost Devontae Adams, they lost Marcus Valdez-Scantling, they lost Equanimeous St. Brown. They lost all of their wide receivers except for like Amari Rodgers, who was a rookie last year.
Yeah.
And they pick a linebacker out of Georgia named Quay Walker. And
he's a pretty good linebacker.
He's good, but he is not who they needed.
No, it's not.
And I absolutely loved this pick for the Packers because it just put a smile on my face. And we'll get to them later, too.
Do you want me to go or you?
No, I'll take it. And number 23, this was a kind of a surprise. I thought it was a little bit of a reach, but the Buffalo Bills take Kyer Alam out of Florida, the cornerback, and I think he's a great player. I think he'll be a number one cornerback. I think other than Tre'Davious White, I think they'll both be that man corner that'll be able to just travel with the wide receiver 1 and 2. And
here we go.
The boys.
I love it.
The Dallas Cowboys. They take Tyler Smith.
Who had like 20 penalties last year.
Out of Tulsa. He's perfect for the Cowboys. He's perfect. He's going to get all the penalties. He's going to be lovely. And at number 25.
By the way, before they took this, Tyler Linderbaum was still on there, and Jermaine Johnson was still on there. Jermaine Johnson seemed like such a good fit for Dallas to add him with Micah Parsons.
They were looking for an edge rusher all offseason. They lost Randy Gregory, and they lost out on Zadarius Smith.
And you get Jermaine Johnson, who just falls into your lap, who fell somehow out of the top 15.
Insane.
And
at number 25, the Ravens again get a pretty good pick for the value at the spot they were picking, and Tyler Linderbaum, who was the best center in the draft. The reason I was hesitant about Tyler Linderbaum was because he has very short arms. He reminds me so much of Garrett Bradbury, who was the center for the Vikings. Yeah, I think we all know how that turned out. Garrett Bradbury is one of the worst centers in the league, but I think Tyler Linderbaum could. He sucks. Anyway, I think Tyler Linderbaum could actually have a better career because he has a wrestling background. He has a lot better of a base under him. I think he'll be a pretty good player. And then
good base. Number 26, the Jets do it again. When's the last time you heard that?
I know.
They take Jermaine Johnson II out of Florida State. That's
How
insane.
did he fall that far?
Yeah, the Jets they had a great draft.
Yes, they did.
I'd say them, the Eagles, maybe the Ravens had the best drafts because the Eagles had a good draft
yes,
too.
They did.
Number 27, I like this pick at number 27.
Yes.
The Jaguars took Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd is so underrated from another linebacker.
Honestly, I don't even know how he fell out of the top 20.
Yeah, I mean, Devin Lloyd is a freak of nature. He is so fast on the field.
He's so good.
He's so similar to he's a better version of Nakobe Dean because he can
He's bigger.
fly. Yeah, he can fly across the field. Like, I mean, he can get from one side of the field to the other. You can just watch him just fly across the field. I mean, he runs people down. Yeah. Number 28, the Packers took Devontae Wyatt. Devontae Wyatt is a good player. I didn't really think he'd be taken in the first round, but
they did not need to take him right there. They needed a wide receiver, and they didn't take one.
Yeah.
But early in the second round, they took one because of things.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And then we get to the Patriots and Bill. They took Cole Strange out of Chattanooga.
What kind of a pick is that?
That, to me, is more mind-boggling than the Cowboys pick. Because the Cowboys pick
Tyler Smith is actually a decent player.
Yeah, and
Like,
Tyler Smith has upside too.
Yeah.
And Tyler Smith was a projected second-round pick.
But
Cole
Cole
Strange was probably projected third or fourth or fifth.
Maybe,
round
yeah.
pick.
Like a mid-round pick, not a first-round pick.
The-
What is Bill Belichick doing? Like, he doesn't even know what he's doing anymore.
I don't know.
But anyway,
Here come the Chiefs again.
At pick number 30, they get George Karlaftis, who I don't know how he fell out of the top 25. I thought he was a top 25 player easy. But yeah, the Chiefs get another great player, great value here. And at number 31, the Bengals get Daxton Hill on a little bit of a run for safeties. They get Daxton Hill out of Michigan.
I didn't think that was a bad pick.
No, that was not a bad pick. I love Daxton Hill.
Yeah, and I think they needed to add their safeties.
Yeah.
So,
and at number 32,
Lewis Cine.
Still hurts.
Oh,
There's so many good players left on the board, and at this point, I'm rooting for Andrew Booth Jr., who we ended up getting in the second round. By the way, great value. But we get Lewis Cine out of Georgia, the safety,
who is so unpolished of a safety to me. I mean, Lewis Cine has so many blown coverages last year for Georgia. Jameson Williams torched him.
To me, he kind of reminds me of Jamal Adams, except like he doesn't rush the quarterback as well, but he's just all over the field. He hits really hard, and he's not that good in coverage, but he's really, really, really fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he'll be a decent player, but I just don't think he was worthy of that 32nd pick. I think he was like a mid-second round pick.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the Vikings completely crap the bed, almost cussed. We don't do that here.
We don't do that in our personal lives either.
No, not at all. And, yeah, the Vikings crap the bed in the first round.
I didn't want Kyle Hamilton.
We didn't. If we wanted a safety, we could have just picked Kyle Hamilton at 12, and everybody would have said that was a great pick. Am I wrong? Exactly. We got fleeced by the Detroit Lions. End of story.
That was awesome.
That's it. That's all I have to say. And then we won't get in the second round and the rest of the draft because the first round is
we
where
could do
they-
that all day. But
Yeah.
let's talk about Nick versus Jim.
I'm still not over that. That's
We got to talk about Nick versus Jimbo.
yes. I'm watching Undisputed and I see this storyline come up about Jimbo Fisher ripping Nick Saban. It's wonderful.
Oh, that was comedy.
Bring up the quote.
Yeah.
Bring up the quotes.
Nick Saban. Let's get it up here.
Just give us a minute, production value.
It was insane though. I mean, Jimbo calls a press conference, like,
This was amazing. I loved it.
and like I love how Nick Saban tries to act like the good guy by saying, "I have no problem with Jimbo." Well,
And clearly you do.
Jimbo's got a problem with you.
Yeah.
So, there they are. Where are we at? Here we go. So basically, Nick Saban. So Texas A&M had a historically great class
Yes.
this year. Probably one of the best classes since Texas in like 06 or 07. I mean,
Probably.
they had a historically great class.
Yeah, number one in the country.
And basically, Nick Saban says that I can't find any quotes, but Nick Saban basically says that Texas A&M bought all their players, but even though they use the new NIL rules, which is illegal to do, and Jimbo just took advantage of the NIL rules that are in place now. This is a deeper issue. Nick just doesn't like the new NIL rules, and that's fine. He doesn't have to, but you can't ridicule other players, especially your former assistants.
Exactly.
And they're acting like two kids. Like Nick
Yes.
comes back and says, "We'll beat your ass whenever you come to Tuscaloosa." But
We'll
you're a
see.
70-year-old man. What do you act like you're like 10?
I know.
Like it was ridiculous. And then Jimbo was like, "You want to dig into Nick Saban's past?" Go look at that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. But anyway, what did you think about it?
I thought that Jimbo was completely in the right. He didn't do anything wrong. He calls out Nick Saban, which Jimbo, being a former assistant of Nick Saban, knows a lot of dirty stuff about Nick Saban
Yeah.
and what he's done.
And
And
he's just protecting his program that he's
Exactly.
built. Nick doesn't have to. Nick, this is once again Nick thinking he's the godfather of college
Exactly.
football and thinking he's in
Exactly.
charge of everybody. He's not. I
No.
mean, you know, it's stupid. But
And
anyway.
Jimbo is, give him respect, he is an established, really good coach
Yeah.
in college football. He won a championship with Florida State.
I think he's going to win one eventually at Texas A&M
Yes. With the number 1 recruiting class in the nation.
in
Like,
the next 5 years. I think he'll
He's-
get one.
yes, he will. But yeah, I thought Nick Saban was completely out of line for ripping Jimbo, but Jimbo,
then he rips
exposed
prime
him.
time because he didn't get the wide receiver that he wanted. So
Who wouldn't want to go play for Deion Sanders?
yeah, I mean, Travis Hunter has the right to
Yeah.
go wherever he wants. And Nick doesn't like how he committed to Florida State
Yeah.
and then he went there. That's not what Nick's mad about. Nick's mad because he didn't get him and he wants everybody.
If he wanted to go to Vermont Community College, he could. He doesn't have to go where.
Don't know if that's a real college.
I don't either, but
okay.
I'm just making up. I mean, but yeah, he doesn't have to go to Alabama or Florida State or anywhere. He doesn't have to go anywhere. He wanted to go play for Deion Sanders, which is completely fine with me because I know I would want to.
But it was crazy. Let's talk about sports casting today.
Oh God!
So there's been some changes on ESPN here lately.
Especially First Take.
Patrick Beverly has entered the conversation.
I can't stand this guy. Get him off the Wolves. I know he just signed an extension. I know he just signed an extension, but get him off. Get him out of here.
I love it. But
I don't. He makes us look even like the Timberwolves are already bad, but he makes us look worse.
oh God.
Like if that's possible.
He
I don't
comes
get it.
off First Take, and on the very first day, the first thing Studio said, I said, "Oh my God, it's." Patrick Beverly said, "My mom is watching. Don't say that. It's like he's dead." And then Stephen A said, "I swear," and he said, "Don't swear." It was funny. I don't know why. And then he said he's the best defender in the league one time. And how many defensive player of the years has Patrick Beverly won?
0.
How many first team all defensive teams has he been on?
0.
How many second teams has he been on?
I
I don't
don't
think he's
know.
been on any, maybe
Mhm.
one. But Patrick Beverly is not really a good physical defender. He's just a pest.
Yeah, he just gets in your head.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a pest. He's not gonna lock you down. I mean, didn't Durant drop 40 on him one game or
Probably.
something?
Probably.
Oh, but it was great. A lot of changes in the world.
And let's talk about Kendrick Perkins.
Oh, I love Perk.
I don't know Perkins.
I like Perk. Perk knows what he's doing on there because he played and an elite player.
Well, that
But-
doesn't stop Patrick Beverly from saying the crap that he does.
No.
You'd figure that he would know what he's talking about
Do you-
because
Do
he's
you
played
like Swagoo?
I love Swagoo.
You
Marcus Spears, I love Marcus
do?
Spears.
Yeah, I like him and Stephen A.
And Damian Woody.
Yeah. Oh, it was hilarious. I love it. Do you like Dan Orlovsky?
Dan Orlovsky, I love Dan Orlovsky.
You do.
And JJ Redick, I love JJ Redick.
I like JJ Redick. I like Jay Williams.
And Mad Dog on First Take. I mean,
Start with me. I don't like him at all.
you don't like Mad Dog?
No,
Why?
because his baseball takes are horrible.
They're not terrible.
They are.
They're not.
He always defends the owners.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm.
But
I
anyway,
guess that's kind of bad.
I like
but-
Stephen A. I like Max Kellerman. I
I don't know why Max Kellerman left. I don't know why. I loved him on First Take.
don't know.
I love Skip Bayless on First Take.
Yeah, he was good.
But-
That's where all his LeBron hate started.
Yep.
I've never
Did you
seen.
see
he's
where?
he's the most infamous LeBron hater.
Yes. Yes. Did you see where his Skip's wife said she likes LeBron?
Yeah,
I loved that.
he got
He looked-
pissed.
He looked so pissed. I
He
loved it.
did. He's like, "Well, this was not in your script." Ernestine.
God, she loves LeBron. She wants to meet him.
Skip posted a picture yesterday of him and Ernestine. Did you see
I
it?
did.
It was what a man.
What a peak man.
You know, he runs like 8 miles a day or something.
And he wakes up at like 4 a.m.
I love it when he posts his alarm clock at like 2 a.m. and says, "LeBron, are you up doing your workouts?" Like, what is that? He said, "Hopefully you're working on your free throw shooting."
Oh my God.
Shannon Sharp.
The suits.
The suits. Oh God, I love some of this. I like the Floorcasters on FS1 a lot.
Yeah.
I like Chris Broussard.
Yeah, I like Shannon Sharp.
I don't
Shannon
like
Sharp.
Nick Wright. I hate Nick
No, I
Wright.
don't like Nick Wright either.
I don't like Nick Wright. And I don't like. I'm not the biggest Colin Cowherd fan.
I cannot stand Colin Cowherd. If you're watching this, Colin Cowherd, end your show.
End your show. Just end it.
Just end it. Give it,
Oh,
give it
God.
to somebody else. Give it to us. We could do a better job than you.
We already know the most elite one. The most elite one is Jalen Rose. I don't like Jalen Rose at all.
His wife on First Takes is
Molly.
so
Molly's gotten a lot better, I think, over the last year or two.
maybe
She doesn't interrupt nearly as much as she used to.
really.
No.
Well, she used to be horrible at that.
The other day was funny because she was like, "Why can't?" Stephen A. was like, "I'm not going to be able to go to LA when I'm in San Francisco," and she was like, "Why can't you?" And he's like, "Because I have to work, Molly."
Mm.
Like, what kind of question is that? Like, what do you think he's doing? I love how he says Molly.
I know. She is good to look at, though. Anyway, moving on.
All right, final takes.
Final takes. Just any takes about anything.
The
What do you got?
Celtics are going to win the finals.
The Warriors will win the finals in 7 games. And in game 7,
Bet some do.
you want
What?
sorry, technical difficulties.
You want-
You want to bet some do?
Yeah.
Okay. How many okay. I'll bet you
5 cases the Celtics win, and I'll bet you an extra 2 that they win in
5
6
cases?
That's liter bottles.
Oh, okay. 5 cases.
Actually, we don't have as much money as Skip Bayless.
No,
I'll bet you
or-
one
or like-
case that the
All right.
Celtics win,
Okay.
and I'll bet you another case that they win in less than 7. They win in 6 or less.
Okay. I'll bet you a case that the Warriors will win in 7. Well, I don't want to say 7 in 7 because I don't want it to be wrong, but
So you just if the Warriors win,
yeah, I'll say the Warriors win the series, and in the last game, the closeout game, when the Warriors win, whenever that is, Steph Curry scores more than 30 points.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll add a case to that.
And I'll add a case. Steph Curry's going to be Finals MVP.
All right, I'll
I'll
match
say
that.
no. All
So we're
right.
betting 3.
Yeah. So I'll get 3 if Steph Curry doesn't win MVP, which
Mhm.
basically means Boston wins.
Yeah.
And if Boston wins in less than 7, so if they win in 6 or less.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right.
We'll catch you later.
All right. Thank you for watching The Stove.